Dennis O'Brien back again on Let's Talk About It, and it's a beautiful. Well, it's not a. It's for winter. It's not bad. It's a Friday. I don't like winter. I think anybody who listens to the show knows that. But you know what? Life is good, and life is especially good today because I got a great guest here with me. This guy has burst on the scene a few years ago. He's a musician. He's an entrepreneur. He's a smart, hardworking guy, and he's doing so much for Willimantic and Windham. Chris Beaudry. Chris Beaudry is he's the executive director of Renaissance, the group that has brought you Third Thursday for more than 20 years now.
Yeah,
and he's also the entrepreneur of. I don't know if you think of yourself, Chris, as an entrepreneur, but you are.
Absolutely,
of River Room.
Yeah,
River Room, which is right down here, right near where we're sitting. And it's really become very, very popular a place for entertainment and to get together with folks. And he's also I guess he has an organization called Chris Beaudry Music.
Oh, that's my personal brand. Yeah.
That's a personal brand.
Yeah. So
okay. I mean that's just a little bit. I'm going to let him tell you about himself, but he did appear with me on the show probably a little bit less than 2 years ago.
2024 Street Fest season, I think, Dennis.
It was Street Fest season for sure. You came on with a couple of other people from Street Fest.
Yeah, Chelsea and Aaron, I think we all came on the show. And
that's right. And again, unfortunately, Susan can't be here today. As I left home, she was in a Zoom meeting talking about the state's response to the cuts in healthcare for citizens, which is very, very important to her and should be to everybody else. And so she may meander in here, but may not. But anyway, Chris, you told me you were a graduate of Berkeley in Boston, Berkeley College of Music.
Coincidentally, I'm wearing the shirt today. Yeah.
And I'm not a musician. I couldn't play a note, but I was raised on sports. But you know what? I love music, and I'm as Matt Rupar knows, I'm a music lover. And who's my favorite artist?
Bob Dylan.
Of course,
Dylan, all right.
Of course,
Bob. You have to think about it.
Yeah, but I like Schubert, Mozart, and all the great Miles Davis, all the great jazz players, and
absolutely.
a lot of others beyond Miles Davis, but which we may talk about. But let me ask you this, Chris. You're from Mansfield originally?
Yes, born and raised Mansfield, Connecticut. E.O. Smith class of 2003. I have roots there, but I also have a lot of roots here in Windham and Willimantic. And I don't know if the folks can see it, but we'll hold it up for the camera, and later these things will be on YouTube. But I brought an array of show and tell all the way from when my grandfather owned a business here in Willimantic back in the 50s and 60s.
Oh, that's great.
To the work that we're doing today at the Willimantic Renaissance and the Downtown Neighborhood Association, of which I'm the treasurer. So, yeah.
I really love it when people come from Mansfield to Willimantic.
I
go in the opposite direction.
I always say, I was born and raised in Mansfield. I love the town of Mansfield. In fact, I love it so much, they just made me the recurring host of the Celebrate Mansfield Festival.
Well, that's great.
I'm going to be the MC on the mic every year now.
They know talent when they see it. They hired me as town attorney for 14 years.
Yeah, that's right. You were the town attorney. That's right. But I always found that Willimantic was my cultural home, the hub for activity when I was a kid. Yeah. And then into my teens, and then into my 20s. By the time I was a senior in high school, the Street Fest was starting in 2002.
Right.
So I caught the first year before I flew the nest and went to Boston to live and study at Berkeley. But this is where I held an open mic for 4 years at Corleone's Cafe that gave me my start in show business.
Well,
I really attribute it to
Corleone's, so you know a lot of people that I know. Bruce he used to be a town councilman in Mansfield. Yeah, there's a lot of people that hung out at Corleone's for a while, maybe still. I don't know. Is it still open?
Oh, it's still open. Yeah, it's owned by Ryan Smithwick. I think he just celebrated, 17 years, 18 years as owner. I think he bought it off David Smith, the story goes. It was back when it was just that small, narrow barway.
Yeah, I remember when the building was constructed by Wade Walker.
Oh, yeah.
Who unfortunately, not long after that, passed away at a very young age. It was very sad.
What year was that about?
Oh, gee, I'd have to say 30 years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He was an Eastern student who, came to town, loved it, just like you, me. I'm from New Britain originally. A lot of folks don't know that, right, Matt? No, I mentioned New Britain about once every show.
From hard-hitting New Britain.
Hard-hitting
they
New Britain,
call it, yeah.
and believe me, it was.
I did my student teaching at New Britain High School for,
that's
music certification.
I'm
yeah.
New Britain High School, and NBHS 1961.
Wow.
That's when I graduated.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, it was a great school.
Yeah.
It wasn't in the same place that you were in, but it was in a different location. Great building. It's now elderly housing. But anyway, yeah, I love it here. Now, what made you decide? You're a professional musician. What made you decide to go into music for a career?
My family.
Okay.
My family. Music has deep roots in my family. First, I'll just throw a shout out to the most important musical influence in my life. That would be my cousin, although out of our age difference, I call her my aunt, Catherine Namasic. She's the current conductor of the Wyndham Concert Band.
Oh, yeah.
She's a professor emerita at Eastern Connecticut State University, where she conducted the Eastern Concert Band. She taught at the Mansfield Middle School for her entire career, retired from there, but she was also an Army Band conductor. I think it was the 192nd Army Band. I'm probably wrong on the number, but that's where she met her husband, and that's where he was playing the tenor saxophone, and that is the tenor saxophone that I play to this day. So,
fantastic.
My grandmother was big into music, always sang to me. My mother played piano. She still dabbles every now and then. She played accordion. They had a polka band in town called Blue Velvet, and I believe one of the former members was Tommy Duffy, who's now the department head of music at Yale University. So,
fantastic.
Yeah, music runs deep in my veins.
Okay,
yeah.
so you got into it at a very young age?
Very young age.
When did you first start playing an instrument?
In fourth grade, so that's the typical age for band students to start. Yeah. And it's a funny story. My mother thought by selecting the tenor sax, I was going to get the smaller one, but she had her terms confused. So me and another friend were the only two. Yeah, it was alto that she wanted. Yeah, but anyway, I'm happy. Yeah,
it's a big one.
Yeah, right. So
all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know enough about jazz to know all the four. I think there are 4 saxophones.
Oh, there's way more than that, Dennis.
Okay, but basic. All right.
The basic families. Yeah, there's 5.
I better be careful. I got a couple of music experts here.
Soprano, alto, tenor, baritone, bass, and then they have sopranino. They have straight tenor. I mean, all kinds of variants. But five.
That's news to me. Anyway.
I love learning new things, so I hope you're the same.
One of the reasons I love doing this show, and Matt knows that, is that I learn so much from our guests.
Yeah.
And I always say that, there used to be shows on the air when the hosts would just talk.
Right.
They wouldn't have a guest on.
Right.
And I say, gee, that may be interesting for a while.
Right.
But after a while, people are going to turn it off.
Yeah.
Because no matter how good you are at this kind of thing, at entertainment, sooner or later, people are going to just get tired of you because they're going to say the same things over and over again. And I do that sometimes, right, Matt?
Everybody does.
Oh, come on! I thought you were going to say no.
No, Dennis. Never.
Okay, right. I love Matt.
So, Dennis, you came to town in 1961. You said?
No. I graduated New Britain High School in 1961. I came to town in actually in 1974.
So you were like 30, 32 years old, right?
I was 31.
74. Okay, so that was 10 years. I wanted to, I got so many show and tell things. I wanted to show this first one. I'll show it to you and then the camera.
Oh, great.
This is a photo of my grandfather, Anthony Mamunas, at the ribbon cutting ceremony for his package store that was called Railroad Street Liquors.
Mamunas.
Yes, Mamunas.
It was his son a cop here in town?
That's right, Anthony Mamunas, 1977 to 1997. Yeah. So this is his father.
Okay, cool.
And you can see the striking resemblance. I mean, his 2 sons were Tony and Christopher Mamunas. And then his one daughter was my mother, Teresa Athena Mamunas. Very Greek.
Cool.
But he owned a store from 1955 to 1964. And in 1964, my mother was 9 years old, but a phone call came into my grandmother that there was an emergency, and my grandfather had just died in the store.
Oh.
He was a World War II veteran.
Oh.
He was exploded in a tank in Normandy Beach.
Wow.
And he had metal plates in his shins and probably shrapnel all throughout his system. And unfortunately, I believe we believe that it was part of his untimely demise at age 45.
Those guys mostly guys that stormed the beaches of Normandy in 1944, I think. They are my heroes. I mean, we can never ever repay them for what they did. Most of them are gone now.
Greatest generation.
They certainly took on what they needed to take on.
I mean, imagine. Yeah.
I hope that we would do that if it happened to us. And hope it never happens, of course.
But I mean, imagine, I can't even imagine
This-
being a fish in a barrel,
this looks like Henry Kucharski,
I'm not.
who was a local attorney that he looks younger than but I think it's him. He's a big, tall guy, and he was an attorney in town.
Let me show this to the camera here.
Sure.
So the YouTube.
People would
Matt,
like to
you
see it.
Hold that up for. And while Matt's holding that up, I told you before we started the show, I have never brought this out of my house in public, and I'm going to open it up. And
I want to know what it is.
I'm going to show you what it is, and it's very fragile. So I'm going to keep tight wraps on it, as you can see. But this is a limited edition run of a whiskey that my grandfather had custom made for his store.
Yeah.
And you'll see the name Muniz, blended whiskey, mild and mellow, bottled exclusively for Railroad Street Package Store, 5 Railroad Street.
He was on Railroad Street.
Willimantic, Connecticut. Yeah. So here, take a look at that.
Wow.
It's one of, I don't know, there's maybe a dozen.
I remember Railroad Street when I first came here. His package store, I don't remember.
No, well, you wouldn't, Dennis,
I
because
wouldn't,
if
because I
you
didn't
came
come here.
you came 10 years after he passed, and the store went away. So.
I came here for the first time, Chris, in the summer of 1970. I was a law student, and I got a job working in legal
Matt, you
aid
want
here.
to carefully show that to the camera?
And I remember, before the, that's great.
Yeah.
I remember before the redevelopment that took out all those streets that were in the eastern part of town, and made this what they call the major parcel, where the Shabu stage is now.
Sure. Yeah.
I remember that, but I didn't go over there very often. I remember visiting a client over there and going into an apartment that was in really bad shape, and that's the only time I was there. But I came back later as a lawyer, and it was gone. And they had already done the redevelopment, which was, probably not a great idea. Probably wasn't done. A lot of people complain about it now.
Well, what was it? Union Street cut through
that
Gilson,
area. There was like
there was a gas station over there. Wasn't
Yeah,
there,
there was all kinds.
all kinds of stuff.
There were local bars over there.
Yeah.
And, all kinds of things. It reminded me a lot of where I grew up in New Britain. I mean, you had a local bar in every neighborhood.
Right.
We didn't have supermarkets. We had a little market with a meat cutter, and in every neighborhood, and it was everybody knew everybody else.
Well, Pat Prue was just saying, we need a deli, like a counter service deli, and I couldn't agree more.
Well, that'd be great. Yeah.
I came from New York City back to town during the pandemic, and I'm used to bodegas on every corner. Your chopped cheese sandwich, your breakfast sandwich, anywhere. Yeah. So
there's a lot about. See, I'm a city guy. There's a lot I like about the city. And when I was in the Army, I served with a lot of guys from New York City. I was lucky enough during the early part of the Vietnam War to be not to be stationed in Vietnam, but to be in Massachusetts at Fort Devens. And most of the people I served with were New Yorkers. And I used to go home to New Britain on weekends. They would drive me to let me off on the Berlin Turnpike. And so I met a lot of New Yorkers, a lot of it, mostly Italians and Jews. And they were so cool. I mean, they were New Yorkers.
New York vibe, yeah.
They were savvy.
Yeah.
They had street sense that I couldn't believe, and I thought I had street sense.
Well, so before he came to town, my grandfather, Anthony, and my grandmother, Teresa, they owned a package store on West Central Park. So Midtown Manhattan. And my great aunt, my grandmother Teresa's sister, Helen Nemasic, lived on East 9th Street, down by, I'm going to forget the name of the park now, but she lived on the same block at the same time that Charlie Parker, the world famous
Birdman,
bebop, the Birdman, the bebop saxophone player. So I'm sure my great aunt and my musical hero crossed paths at some time in New York City. So there's a lot of New York ties with my family too.
I thought he was going to bring Dylan into it because, of course, Dylan traveled from Minnesota to where the action was in New York.
Yeah, New York City.
That's how he really made his way.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing.
If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere.
I believe that.
I gave it a shot, man. I was there for 8 years. So, but the pandemic, it killed everything. So especially in the live music industry, all our work just went away overnight. So
right. So you started playing saxophone?
Yeah, fourth grade.
Fourth grade.
Fourth grade.
And
Carried it through middle school, obviously under the direction of my cousin Kay Namasic, and then E.O. Smith. It was James Nardine, Jim Nardine.
Yeah, yeah.
Great guy. He's a shout out to Jim Nardine. And then I also, for my later 2 years in high school, junior and senior year, I attended the Hartford Academy of the Arts.
Great.
Which is a Capital Regional
Sure,
Education Council program. So
Yeah.
a lot of music, man.
Did you know anything about Tim Quinn, who was the musical director at Wyndham High School, who lived in he was a legend in Mansfield?
I think he had a couple of children that are also musical, right? Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. So I know of
He
him.
has family
yeah.
up there still.
Yeah. Okay.
He's going now.
Uh-huh.
Is Tony Mamunez still with us?
Yes, he is. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Where is he?
Today, he and Joe Namasic are at MGM Springfield playing a little poker. So.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So they're still around.
Yeah, they're still around.
'Cause I
yeah,
remember
yeah.
he was a police officer, and he was really a nice guy.
1977 to 1997, he retired.
Yeah. Oh, he retired in '97.
He had his party at the Elks Club. Yeah.
Oh wow, I'm thinking about it. '97 seems like just yesterday, but
I was
it's not.
I was 12 years old, and I actually remember the retirement party at the Elks. So a lot
He
of
was
fun.
such a nice guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew a lot of the old, because the cops were in town hall back then.
Yeah, he's a member of the PBA now, so he still supports
cool.
the police and everything. So,
Yeah, I think he was active in the PBA back then.
That's right. Yeah.
In fact, I started a girls softball league in Willimantic with the Little League in 1983, and my team was the Willimantic PBA Blues.
Oh, cool.
And they had like a badge on their uniform.
Yeah.
And the PBA paid for the uniforms.
And what position did you play?
I didn't play.
Oh no,
I
it was
the
the
coach.
women's. You were the coach. Okay,
Oh yeah, I was
gotcha,
the coach.
gotcha.
It was kids, and
Yeah.
Leslie was on the team. My daughter.
Wow.
And Diana Pepin, who's now the head coach and has been for like 25 years at Eastern, was a member of that team, the
Wow.
PBA Blues.
Nice.
Diana, I hope you're listening. But
And that doesn't stand for Pro Bowling Association.
No.
That stands for
Police
Benevolent Association. But
That's
I
right.
did bowl a lot at Willie Bowl back when it was back in the day with my grandmother.
I bowled
so, yeah.
a bit in New Britain, but I wasn't that good at it.
Yeah.
And I started out good, then I faded.
Okay.
I just I'd like to play games with us. You can play defense. I like to go after people.
Right.
And so I
right.
like basketball and baseball.
Nice.
Anyway, so you've been involved in music for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Are there any other instruments that you play?
I had a stint in high school that I played a nylon string classical guitar.
Cool.
And my mother hated it because when you get serious into it, you don't use a pick. It's finger style.
Ooh.
And so in the right hand, for right-handed guitar players, they grow the nails out just on that one hand, and they use a special like nail hardener and everything. And because you then essentially have 5 picks, right?
Yeah.
And my mother hated the fact that I had long nails on one hand and short nails on the other, and I'm like, wow, it's in service of the music. Like I need to do this. Anyway, yeah. So a little bit of guitar and then some production stuff, but mainly saxophone's been with me. Yeah.
So what saxophone is your saxophone of choice?
Tenor saxophone.
Tenor
yeah.
sax.
I've been more than blessed. My cousin Joe Namasic, he gave me the horn he played in the Army Band.
Great.
And it's a Selmer Mark VI, which is the gold standard made in France. And it's a one of one, honestly. So, yeah.
By the way, I want to talk about the River Room, but first I got to mention that when I was at Fort Devens, one of the units up there was the 18th Army Band.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, River Room.
Yeah.
Talk about the River Room and how you got started. And I remember reading about
Sure.
it, the Chronicle.
Yeah.
You started it with, I guess there's a woman involved in it too. Who
That's right.
has a business up here. What's her name?
Her name, Daniela De Souza.
Daniela De Souza. I couldn't remember it, but I remember reading about her being involved. And she owns a business up on Main Street.
She owns Spiral Arts Ceramic Studio
Right,
at
right down the
750 Main
street.
Street. Yep, spiralartsstudio.com.
Are you in the same building?
We are in the basement. We're directly underneath her
right behind
studio.
it.
Yeah, on
Okay.
the back entrance. That's right,
Back entrance on
Yeah.
River. It's 50 Riverside Drive.
Yeah, I believe the last business that was in there pre-pandemic was Bhakti Yoga Studio. So it was
Okay.
the walls were vibrant orange and blue when we came in, but we did a little work there with
Yeah.
volunteers, and it was great. Yeah.
You mentioned Yono. I practiced law in that office. I was with Attorney Schiller
Oh, okay.
back
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
90s.
Yeah.
And Yono is in there now.
Yeah, Yono was my show sponsor here at WILI for a brief time there.
Fantastic.
And, Angie's been great.
Angie
yeah,
is
yeah.
great.
She is.
She's great. Not only that, she loves cats.
Yes,
And
yeah,
and
animals in general.
Animals
Yeah,
in
yeah,
general, but I
yeah.
mean, I'm not. I love animals in general too, but I'm definitely. Oh, here comes Susan. I'm definitely particularly interested in cats. I have 3 cats now, and I say I told Angie, I said that's 1 cat over the line. two is enough, but we adopted a couple of twins.
I feel the same with dogs. I got 2 dogs during the pandemic, and I think that's the cap. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not interested in having like 50 cats like some people.
Then you'll be Dennis the Cat Man.
I'll be Dennis the Cat Man, and the local authorities will be coming to get me.
Yeah.
That's what usually happens with folks who do that.
Right.
Anyway, the river room. What made you think about? What was your thought process in terms of starting that up?
It was less of a thought process and more of a feeling, honestly.
Yeah. Okay.
So prior to coming back, the pandemic, I was in New York City. 2020 March rolled around and just everything ceased. I had a lease with a very expensive apartment. You can imagine. I was paying a decent rent, $700 a month, but it was a 70 square foot room. 10 foot by 7 foot, Dennis. I had to Murphy bed my bed up during the day so that I could practice in my own room.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I had a lease. I let it expire. I went and picked up my stuff, and I was back in town, got my dogs, and I'm here now. Like, this is where my heart's always been. I had to try the city living.
You are definitely here, and both feet.
Yeah.
You're in the water up to your neck.
And so I got a job. Hi, Susan. How are you? Yeah.
Thanks for being on the show with us.
Absolutely. Should we switch mics around? Susan's here.
Don't spill that.
Okay.
I'm going to give you this one.
Look at this. I had no idea we had these goodies here.
Yeah, I brought show and tell in a
Wow.
big way here
Very
today.
nice.
But
My co-host has arrived. Susan Johnson is
Yes,
here.
I was at a MAPOC meeting, the Medical Assistance Policy Oversight Council,
I
and we had
explained.
great Medicaid things to
Oh,
talk
good.
about.
Yeah,
Yes.
good. Yeah,
But
very
I won't delay any more on that.
necessary conversation. But I'll continue with my story
Yes,
here. So,
please proceed. Yeah.
came back to town, pandemic, and bided my time. We were in lockdown, and then eventually a gentleman I was in contact with because I had done work for him was the current manager at that time of the Side Door Jazz Club in Old Lyme, Connecticut.
Oh, yeah.
And they have the owners owns the Old Lyme Inn and the Side Door Jazz Club under one roof.
Right.
And since the manager sent a message out saying I'm moving on, the pandemic, there's no work, I waited a little bit and I just sent a message to the owner saying if you're ever looking to open your doors whenever the restrictions are lifted, I'd love to have a conversation about joining you and taking the reins. And sure enough, April 2021, I started as the manager of the Side Door Jazz Club. I did 3 years, my tenure there at the Old Lyme Inn, and in my last year, I was the general manager of the hotel, a 100-seat restaurant, 13-room hotel, and a 70-seat jazz club, world-renowned jazz club, the Side Door. So I brought all of my agency skills that I had acquired in New York City back to Connecticut. I did my time 3 years there and then decided it was time for me to come back here and try something on my own while I had my energy and my vigor here. And I approached Danny because we had a relationship musical going back to probably the first 5 years of the Street Fest. We performed with a Brazilian jazz ensemble.
Sure.
And she brought me down to the basement space, and that was it. History, it was our trajectory was set in stone. We said, what about arts and all kinds of arts, all kinds of music, not just one genre. I was doing just the jazz club.
Yep.
We had Wally Lamb. We've had the 2025 Grammy winner for Best Latin Jazz Album. We had bands from Brooklyn. We had a band from South Africa come, Bokani Dyer, a world-renowned jazz pianist who's going to make big waves. I mean, he was on his way to us in Willimantic. It was by way of the Monterey Jazz Festival. So that's the type of caliber that we're bringing here. And then he flew back right after his gig with us to South Africa. So
Let me just say this.
Yeah.
I am just thrilled that you're there and the amazing work that you've done and the people that you've brought down to the River Room. It's just fabulous. And you
Thank
really helped us work on making the completion of being the Arts and Entertainment District.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we've wanted to be since the mid-1990s when we
It's been a lot of
realized
talk, yeah.
this is what we should do. And we've got great resources. We've got our universities that work, the high school, community college, all those things. And it's just such a perfect thing that you're doing. So I just want to say high praise and thank you.
Well, thank you, Susan. The support of not only the community, the artist community, the artists that I book and work with at the Street Fest, at the River Room, and then the general support of representatives like yourself and administrators at Eastern. And I had an encouraging conversation with Sarah Mallory, the principal over at the Act School. Just everybody has this energy, and there's the vibe of Willimantic. It is an art town. I mean, and to leverage the arts, not only for the social, emotional wellness aspects of it, but the economic impact. I think there's an untapped market. I mean, there's already amazing things historically and currently that are going on. I mean, look at all the Shaboo activity on the wall over here, the posters. David's got his Take Me to the River All-Stars on Saturday. I mean, I'm playing with the Kingpins in Hartford, but there's so much going on.
Oh, you've mentioned David Foster, so I've got to say this. We were in New Orleans, and I'll tell you what, Willimantic reminds me of a little New Orleans.
A little bit,
doesn't it? Doesn't it look like
a little colder?
Has that little? It's colder, yeah.
It was cold when we were there too. It wasn't
It wasn't as cold as it is
we were
here,
there in December,
but it had that same kind of charm to it, the same kind of energy that you're talking about. That arts energy. It was there, and it was that kind of thing. So. That is really what I got from. I was so glad to get there because I hadn't been there since I was a very young person, and so when I had an opportunity, Dennis and I went, and it was just. I said, this really feels like my hometown, Willimantic.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, I love all things New Orleans. That's the birthplace of jazz, Congo Square. I mean, it is the melting pot. It's where all of these different cultures came together by way of, trade and slavery and all the things that brought all of these different ethnic and heritages and cultures. And it's beautiful. It's an American, story in itself. So,
truly.
I mean, and Willimantic truly is an American story, too, with the history between the thread mills and Eastern's upbringing as the vocational, what was it originally called? Jay Highland was talking about it the other day. But anyway, there's so much history here.
Yes,
you missed the part where I brought my grandfather. This is from his package store on Railroad Street.
Oh my God!
This is
wow.
There's 12 of these in existence right now. So I have a security team that brought it in with me today. It was Dennis.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, okay.
But
not gonna get much help from me. But a lot of support. A lot of moral support.
Big support.
I wanted to get this out sooner than later because this is kind of the overarching trajectory of my mission here in town with all of the wonderful people which we're collaborating and working with on the regular. The River Room, it started off as a standalone thing.
Yeah.
And by the graciousness and generosity of Jean Dismay and the team at Willimantic Renaissance, they came to our rescue, literally, because we had solicited different donors, lined them up, but we didn't have a 501c3 under which we could take those donations, right? When people are withdrawing from a Roth IRA account or whatnot, there's a lot of stipulations that you need to abide by the law if you're going to use it for a nonprofit, right? So Gene and WRI came. We approached them and said, would you fiscally sponsor this project? And they just obliged. The board voted unanimously. And we had such a great relationship from the start that when things started to take a new direction and shape, I said this would be a great permanent project of Willimantic Renaissance. And now, among the Willimantic Third Thursday Street Festival, the River Room is a project of WRI. We have the Romantic Willimantic Chocolate Fest. We have the Winter Blues Festival. We have it's a collaboration with Wyndham Rec and the town, but we also do a major role in Trick or Treat on Main Street. This past year, we introduced a new fun mini kind of street fest on Riverside Drive, the Blocktoberfest. We did a holiday parranda, which is a Puerto Rican Christmas caroling tradition this year. So we're looking to expand the programmatic offerings of Willimantic Renaissance, but also Gene's mission with WRI has always been to use arts and culture to broaden the community, just bolster community ties, chances for people to meet and be creative and be community minded, and it's all about love, really. I mean, if you think about it, not to sound corny or cliche or anything like that, but really everything that they've been doing for the 23 years in existence has at WRI has just been amazingly impactful. and I'm just so looking forward to the future and offering kind of a vision to steer it forward into the future with the help of everybody that's been so great. We have an event tonight that we're celebrating volunteers and Lifetime Achievement Awards of Travis Potter, who's been a long-time sound man for the Beer Garden at the Street Fest and other events, and then Tom McNally will be there as well tonight.
Boy,
so,
Tom
Wonderful.
McNally.
Wow.
so 94 years old,
Yeah.
and he's done so much for the town,
Yeah.
just like you two have done. And thank you again
Yeah.
for having
We
me
know
to
Tom,
talk
yeah.
about all this today. So.
Well, I want to say a couple things. You said Willimantic Renaissance.
seconds, because the camera's going to shut off.
Willimantic Renaissance has been great for you, but you have been great for Willimantic Renaissance. You were
appreciate
it's a
that,
natural. Yeah. It's a natural. And I also want to come back. We have to take a break now. We're going to come back. We're going to talk to Chris Beaudry again. I want to talk about your show on WILI.
Sure, and I got projects I want to talk about
among other
too.
things.
Yeah.
So
And
we only
DNA
have 43
stuff.
minutes, but we're going to try to get it all in. And you're a fast talker, and so am I. And anyway, we'll be right back after this message from our sponsor with Chris Beaudry.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Susan Johnson. I'm here with my co-host Dennis O'Brien and our very special guest, Chris Beaudry, who is in charge of the River Room, and he's been doing great work, getting wonderful events here, and we are just thrilled to have him on our show.
My turn. Okay, we had a great time at the River Room. We had a birthday party there.
Yeah, that's right.
'Cause you have all kinds of events going on there. It's a great space, and there's 7 days in a week, so
Yeah.
why not use it, right?
Yeah.
And we had a wonderful time. I mean, it was fantastic. You have the food comes from Trigo.
Trigo Pizza.
Trigo. I always mispronounce that, and I know we know them very well.
Well, if you haven't been, you got to try go.
Trigo.
I guess,
Okay,
right?
Trigo.
Yeah.
I thought it was Trigo. Trigo.
No, it's Trigo, but yeah.
I know. There's a story
We
behind
have
that,
been
but
there,
I forgot what it was.
It was their history as when they met and everything. and
It's
they went-
something to do
has
with
to
that.
do with their relationship.
Yeah, but we don't have much time left, so I want to talk about a little bit about your show and promote your show because
thanks.
you have all these new shows, which is great. We used to be the only there were 2 shows on for years and years and years, just one and a Thursday night show, and now we have all these other shows on the air. I think it's wonderful to have all these talk radio shows. I'd rather have people should listen to the radio, turn off the television, put away your cell phone, listen to the talk shows on WILI because it's all about us. It's all about our town, and it's very good for our town. And Chris has a show.
Just quickly, it's great to listen to the radio. You don't need a password. You don't have to stream. All you got to do is turn it on to WILI 1400 on your radio dial or 95.3 FM.
And one of the great things about this station, and big shout out to J. Matt Rupar, is
Yes.
that
Hey,
a
Matt.
lot of the shows are archived in video format too.
Yes.
So that's why I felt so encouraged to bring all of this show and tell and just screwing about at the desk here. But if you can't catch the show live, it's great that they're all archived on WILI Radio is the name of the channel on YouTube. So you're on there. Ruth Hartunian Allenbaugh, she's been doing Ravings and Cravings.
Yep.
I love that show. I mean, I listen to a lot of these hometown threads with Keith C. Rice. The whole thing is here. Garden Talk even. There's great tidbits in there. I'm an avid gardener. Another pandemic project that, I just found out I loved. Oh, my God. I listened to Homegrown with J. Matt Rupar. I shout out. In fact, I couldn't make it the other week, and I said, Matt, run one of your shows in place of mine. So it is great. You guys
Wow,
are
that's a
absolutely
real
right.
sacrifice.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would do that. I don't know if I would let anybody run their show in place of ours. But
Well, if you did that, it would be all Bob Dylan. So he's doing variety, right? So
Wow, you know this guy very well.
I don't want to take up much time, but I've been threatening to do an all Dylan show.
why not, man? Yeah.
Well, Dylan doesn't get enough play on AM. Certainly not on AM.
Yeah.
I think the people on AM, except for Tuit, they've only heard about 5 or 6 of his songs. Lady Lay and Mr. Tambourine Man. Anyway, tell us about your show.
So the show, it's called State of the Art with Chris Beaudry every Tuesday from 3 to 4 p.m. And, I started out with the concept of having it be the state of the arts here in Willimantic and Windham and Mansfield, surrounding towns as well. And it's held that approach, but also it's kind of morphed into a community forum too, because I do love offering the mouthpiece here that you're offering me today to other people. For instance, I had Christopher Grant, who's actually a cousin of mine. We have a shared grandmother lineage, I believe, or great grandmother lineage. lineage. But so I had him on the other day with Lefty Foster to talk about the Take Me to the River All-Stars, and we pitched Chris's, and the Willimantic Lions are doing Rise Against Hunger, and I'm sure you've talked about this.
Yes.
Maybe you've even I think you had Chris
We
on your
have.
show already.
We
Yeah.
did, and I'm actually going to be there. I'm going to be at both places, both seeing Chris Grant tomorrow and at the Senior Center, and then again we're going to be with David Foster at his wonderful, show.
Busy
at
day
the
tomorrow, I'm telling you.
ECSU.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
not all I'm doing. I got more.
We also have Three Kings Day.
Three Kings Day
at
is
the community
Day.
center.
next week on the
And I
6th.
got a
That-
meeting
that's this
before
week.
that as well.
yeah,
So,
Yeah,
yes.
tomorrow.
I got meetings and events.
Yeah,
we're busy.
But anyway, so we had Chris on the show, and again, I want to give a shout out to Rise Against Hunger because I think they are still taking donations. But we did a thing where we auctioned off basically for a donation of $150 2 tickets to a River Room show, and I had just been at Bruce John's house before I taped the show, and Bruce had. Don, what was the tickets that we had?
Reed.
Lou Reed, a ticket to see Lou Reed,
Oh,
and
boy.
the actual ticket from 1978 from Shabu.
Wow.
And so I had the brilliant idea
great.
in the spur of the moment to do 2 tickets to the River Room plus a signed copy of this ticket from Shabu, and we got 2 callers at $150 to pledge for the Rise Against Hunger. So
Excellent.
people listen to the radio
Yes,
still.
they
Oh yeah, they
and,
do.
and they
they're
call
coming-
in. and-
They're coming
yeah.
back because
They
we
do.
are connecting with everybody in the community.
Right.
And that's one way to get people back to listen.
Amen. So.
Plus, the horrible passwords under the TV, Spectrum, and
Oh, don't you hate it? Oh my God, yeah.
All right, Chris.
Yeah.
and Frontier.
You're up, Chris.
Yeah. So in
No more
addition,
streaming.
oh man, yeah. So in addition to Rise Against Hunger, I also wanted to talk about. It's coming up very quickly. And we have so many just gems of restaurants here in town. The food scene, and it's only getting better too.
Yes, it is.
And talk about like community-minded, all of these wonderful restaurants. Like David Wallner over at Woolly Brew for the nights of last night and tonight pledged to donate 5% of revenue from Woolly Brew to go to Rise Against Hunger. So
wonderful.
that is going to push them over their goal of $5,800. They're packing 14,226 meals on Saturday.
Yes, I
with
know.
like
It's
90 volunteers
fabulous.
in 2 hours. So it's
Yes.
just a massive effort from our town, but it speaks to the energy and the momentum that when we come together, what we can accomplish. And so that segues me into January 26th through February 8th. The Willimantic Downtown Neighborhood Association, in cooperation with the Town of Windham, Town of Mansfield, and Mansfield Downtown Partnership. I don't know what year this is. I want to say 4th or 5, the 5th year maybe. Somebody will correct me after the show airs, of course, but it's an ongoing thing that we've built momentum and we've got steam behind it. It's Taste Two Towns, which is Willimantic
great
and
event.
Mansfield's Restaurant Week. So January 26th to February 8th. Matt, would you care to hold that up? Taste2towns.com, folks. It is basically, we have 2 categories, counter service restaurants and dine-in restaurants. And any restaurant that signs up to participate will have a Restaurant Week special. I say Restaurant Week, but it's actually 2 full weeks of restaurant activity. But, we have restaurants in town here include Woolly Brew, Trigo. I know we have... we approached Rosa Gallo's Kitchen to participate. They may come in. El Guanajuato, a Cupcake for Later, Paula and Jane Boba Cafe. I mean, Silk City Coffee is participating. The list goes on. I think there's about 10 restaurants per town. And Chris McNaboe, who's the chair of the Willimantic Downtown Neighborhood Association, went to sample one of the dishes at El Guanajuato. It was a chili, what was it? Agua chile shrimp dish with a margarita included in the price of the package, and $29. I mean, a margarita alone, folks, for a good one is like $12 to $15.
Sure.
So that price alone right there for $29 for the giant plate and the margarita, I mean, that's the type of thing you can expect. Woolly Brew always knocks it out of the park. Trigo does a special with their pizzas, but look for it, taste2towns.com. And it starts again on January 26th, runs through February 8th. We're looking to get Scott Dolch here. He is the president of the Connecticut Restaurant Association. And if you're not familiar, they do the Crazy Awards every year.
Yes,
The
Yes, no,
Crazies,
we're
right?
We just had David Wilner
Yeah.
to celebrate.
Because,
he got the
yeah.
Crazy Award.
For like a
Yeah,
Lifetime
Connecticut-
Achievement
yes,
Award. Yeah.
yeah.
So So I'm
the Connecticut Restaurant Association.
Yeah, so the
That's what it
Crazies,
stands for.
Crazies is CRA or all in caps because it's
Yeah.
Connecticut Restaurant Association, and then Crazy is like, I guess you go crazy for restaurants and for food, but they do that yearly, and David Wallner and Willie Brew walked away with a Lifetime Achievement Award you can
Fabulous.
actually see on
Yeah,
display among
listen,
his
you
many
can listen
others.
to our podcast when
We had him on the
Yeah,
air.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So Rise Against
Yes.
Hunger, Taste Two Towns, the Chocolate Festival, that's a huge one that's coming
Oh,
up.
it is, and we have a
The-
table for our town committee.
Do you? So
Yes,
you're gonna
we do.
participate in the
I
chocolate
certainly
chip
am,
stroll?
Even though I have an allergy to chocolate, but
Oh, what a bummer. That's got to be disappointing.
I-
She
I-
gets chocolates, I eat them.
You're the cleanup crew. I love
Yeah,
it.
it's good.
Help my
It's
hubby
supposed to be
out,
good
yeah.
for your health. Chocolate's supposed to be healthy.
Right, it's got all those polyphenols and all that.
All
stuff.
that good stuff. Yeah.
yeah.
But we're going
Happy.
we're going big this year, ladies and
Ooh,
gentlemen.
okay.
So I don't know if you were aware, but the Bench Shop recently, shut down after 60 some odd years in
Yeah.
business. What a cultural staple it was here on Main Street. But
Absolutely.
a
Great.
big historical-minded person that swooped in to buy it happens to be WRI's president and
Gene
founder,
Dismay.
Gene Dismay.
Yep.
And there's nothing in there yet, but we have a volunteer crew of the Willimantic Lions, Jay Hyland from Project Emo, and then the Willimantic Renaissance. We're going to go in there, and by February 1st, we're going to have a pop-up retail store in that retail space, and we're going to call it Cupid's Corner, a pop-up romantic Willimantic shop. And the things that you can expect to see in there are we approached Hosmer Mountain Cola. They always make their chocolate cream cola, and it's very popular around Chocolate Fest time because it's chocolate, right? And they encouraged us to, buy in bulk and then remove the labels and make a special limited edition run of romantic Willimantic chocolate cream cola. So we're going to sell that. We're going to encourage, there's going to be an open window for vendors to come in and sign up. We're going to have the teens from Project Emo Youth Center create a whole
Wonderful.
line of products. We're encouraging the Railroad Museum of Eastern Connecticut, which is right down the street off Bridge Street here in Willimantic, is going to bring a 4-foot by 8-foot train display that's going to be kind of at the center of this pop-up retail store. Think pink as far as the eye can see. Think romantic Willimantic. The T-shirts will be there for sale. We'll have any local business that wants to display their rack card or any business information will be welcome because we're going to be, again, aligned with Gene Dismay's mission of Feet on the Street. That's what it's about. We're using arts and culture to bring economic stimulus to the area. And the Chocolate Festival, I think we bring between 1,000 and 2,000 people right here on Main Street. The cake competition is happening at the ACT School. Ruth Hartunian Allenbaugh is going to be running that again. The cake birthday celebration at the Willimantic Food Co-op, they're turning 46 this year. They're 6 years older than me. And they're going to have a cake for every year they've been in existence. So 46 cakes there, 40 cakes here. I mean, nearly 100 cakes just alone. Live music, there's going to be Patty Bruce and Jason Altieri are going to be playing at a cupcake for later.
Fabulous. Wow.
Bill Dougal is going to be doing his songs
yeah.
about art at the Kerry Gallery. I hired a puppeteer to follow Bill for children and families. We have Carlisle is a great duo out of Lebanon. They're going to very professional. They play all the folk circuit. They're going to be performing during the auction component of the cake contest. We're going to have stuff up and down Main Street. I know the Democrats, they set up their table and they hand out
Yes.
chocolate and everything, so you'll be there. Mayor Tom just said he's going over to Munson's to put in his custom order of chocolate bars from the mayor. So, folks,
Oh, good
it's
for
it's
him.
going to be
Good
a
for him.
big. It's
I'll
gonna
be
a big
all
one this
over
year.
that.
Yeah.
Maybe we should get some chocolate bars from the rep.
So,
Get some chocolate bars from the rep.
Yeah.
Or maybe something other than chocolate from the rep.
All right, come on. We're running down to our final minute here.
That's a good
This
idea,
guy's got to
yeah.
talk faster.
Yeah.
From the rep.
Yeah. So how much
Got to
time
get this
do we
guy
have now?
talking faster.
Oh, only 1 minute.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah. Go ahead.
I want to encourage people to go. We have a new website being designed now for the
Wonderful.
Willimantic Street Festival. So we hired Mark Flynn, who actually works for Project Emo, and he does website work for Project Hope as well.
Yep.
Super talented guy. If you ever need website work done, I don't know if he publicly advertises it, but he is professional among professionals. And it's going to be a user experience, user interface like none other. And we're putting a community calendar eventually on there. But any information about the Street Fest and our different offerings, that Willimantic Renaissance is so much more than the Street Fest. It's a big thing that we're trying to use our press and PR and marketing campaigns to educate people that we are not just at 5 times a year Street Fest, but now we're the River Room, the Chocolate Fest, the Winter Blues Fest, the Blocktober Fest, Trick or Treat on Main, and now pop-up store on for the month of February for the Chocolate Fest. But I want to keep going.
Jeez, I think I'm going to have to retire if I want to do all this stuff.
My board looked at me the other day and they said, "Do you even sleep?" And I said, "Well, every other night or something like
Why
that."
bother,
Yeah,
you know?
well, yeah. I'll sleep when I'm dead, for crying out loud.
I've
So
always said that.
anyway, that's what's going on. WillimanticStreetFest.com, RiverRoomWillie.com, and thank you, Susan and Dennis, for having me
great,
today. I
great,
appreciate
great.
this.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much for your
Hey,
hard
Chris
work.
Beaudry, great to have you on the show, and we love the fact that you've got your own show on this channel and on this radio station. At your show is on Tuesday at 3 p.m. right?
Tuesday, 3 to 4 p.m. Yeah, and
Okay,
we do giveaways. So
If
you wanna listen-
if you liked what you heard today, tune in Tuesday 3 to 4 p.m. Chris Beaudry on State of the Art.